Welcome back, guys. The Kids Kitchen Show. We are making cauliflower chowder today. Actually cauliflower and turnips, because I have some turnips left and I have cauliflower that needs to be used up. So what we're going to do first is roast these two things, and then we will assemble and create this really creamy cauliflower soup chowder that actually can be totally vegan if you want to, or you can add some cheese. So the first thing is we need to chop this up and then roast. And while it's roasting, I'm actually going to go take a walk. Do you do that too? Do you sometimes like multitask? Sometimes I wonder if that's a good idea, but I have people in the house, so it's okay. I can let the vegetables roast while I walk, and I feel like it's like the perfect time, about 30 minutes, perfect timing to walk the dog and have the vegetables be roasting at the same time. All right, so actually I should focus so I don't chop my own fingers here. So the thing about cauliflower, and I love cauliflower, and I love that it's having like a moment in the food history, because it can be anything. Have you seen that quote that says, if cauliflower can become rice, you can become anything? I think it's brilliant. But here's the thing about cauliflower rice. It's great, but I don't like that they call it rice, because it's not rice. Rice is rice, and rice is amazing on its own. So you can maybe just call it like cauliflower crumbles. That's because that's what it is. It's little tiny cauliflower pieces. Anyway, what was I gonna say about cauliflower? Oh, it's messy, as you can see. Here are the rice pieces, right? Anyway, cauliflower is great, and it's very versatile. It can become a lot of things, but I really like it roasted. I did not grow up eating roasted cauliflower, but now that I know it's amazing as a soup. It can be mashed with potatoes. It's brilliant. So I'm just gonna finish chopping the turnips and I'll be back. So I chopped cauliflower, turnips, and then my daughter came down and she asked if I could have some potatoes in there. So potatoes got to go in. And then I'm going to add just a few garlic, and this is totally optional, but I already have garlic, already shelled garlic, yes, peeled. So I'm just gonna add just a few, because roasted garlic is really good. And look at how white this is. So what we're gonna do, because we can, I have some leftover cherry tomatoes that I'm just going to roast with everything else, and look at that. Right away, it just looks much more interesting, don't you think? So this chowder obviously is super versatile, and you can make it the way you want it. The main ingredients would be the cauliflower and the turnips, right? Roasted. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt before we roast, and olive oil. And we'll mix everybody together, and then let me grab some pepper. And we're gonna roast this 400 degrees for 30 minutes. That's when the vegetables will be done, and then we'll make everything in a pot with a couple of other ingredients. So just really make sure that all the oil and salt and pepper gets, oh, there are things that wants to escape. Okay, so look at that. That feel like a canvas of vegetables. Has to be pretty to look at too, right? So that we want to eat it. Look at that. So we're gonna roast 400 degrees, 30 minutes, and then I'll be back to show you how to make the rest of the chowder. So the veggies are all done and roasted. So the veggies are roasted, and I just want to show you the one thing I'm going to do before we go over to the pot, and that is I'm going to mix some arrowroot powder into my stock, so that's what's going to be the what makes the soup, the chowder, creamy without needing any milk or cheese if you don't want the cheese. Okay, so we just want a 1/4 cup of arrowroot powder, and if you don't have arrowroot powder, you can use regular flour or gluten-free flour as well. So we're just gonna do a 1/4 cup, about, right? And we're gonna put it in here. And I just made this stock so it's a little warm. You can use stock from a can or another container, right? So I'm just gonna mix this in here and have it be just ready for us when we need the broth. So besides the broth, we're gonna use onions, carrots, celery, and a couple of bay leaves, and a little bit of, I'm using herb de Provence, but you can also just use like dry thyme or like Italian seasoning if that's what you already have. This is soy milk. So any plant-based milk will work here, or if you're not plant-based, you can use regular milk as well. Okay, so that is nice and mixed, and then let's move over to the pot where we actually get to cook. So oil is hot. Let's put in the onions, the carrots, the 3 friends, right? Very common that these 3 go together. Usually garlic goes in too, but I already roasted the garlic in with the cauliflower, so we do not need that right here. And we are going to do about a teaspoon of salt and a bunch of pepper. And I'm going to actually put the bay leaves in here right now, just to get it nice and fragrant with everybody else. So we're going to let that just cook for a couple of minutes until it's nice and soft. I think one of the tricks to a really good soup or chowder or anything like that is caramelize the 3 friends, the onions, the carrots, and the celery. Really like get it to be a little bit almost burnt, but not, just to get the caramelization. I think it brings so much more flavor into the dish and the soup. So let's see. Yeah, I think it's there now. Okay, so to this, we will add the soy milk. And then we'll add the broth with the arrowroot powder that we already put in there. So about 3 cups of broth and a cup of soy milk. And then here comes the main ingredients. The roasted cauliflower and turnips and a little bit of potatoes and tomatoes. Because you do what your children want you to do, right? You make them happy, you add the potatoes. Okay, so if it needs more liquid, you can add more soy milk or you can add more broth. Right now, I think it's just right, so I'm gonna just leave it like that. And I'm gonna add in the seasoning, and I'm just gonna cover it with a lid and let it simmer for about 20-30 minutes, and then it will be done.